I can also find numbers that show at
Yeah.
half of what they say it is.
Check this out. Noam Chomsky says that's the standard technique of privatization. Defund, make sure things don't work, get people angry, you hand it over to private capital. So, and this is one of the arguments that I've been making about what they're doing with the public schools. And earlier we mentioned the voucher program here in Texas that the Republicans are pushing for. And that is this. That is, you know, you make something not work or appear to not work and say that the government can't do it. So then it needs to be done by private people so they can make private money off of it. You know what I mean? It's all just like it's a scam. It's basically a scam, you know.
It's really not a scam, bro. Because guess what? You teaching your kid at school is private schooling.
We're talking about the money. We're talking about where the money goes and where it comes from, you know.
Yeah,
You
it costs money to run a school at home. Like if you're teaching your kid at home, like you still have costs. Like like the books, the paper, even the computer. If you're doing everything on a computer, like everything costs.
yeah,
So
I mean, I can't argue with that. I mean,
So I mean, if you're saying that we're a free country, but we shouldn't allow options for people to be able to school their children the way they want. I don't think that's really like I don't think that holds up to what
it's
we
not
say we
talking
are.
about taking options. It's about siphoning money from the system that is supposed to be
Hmm.
teaching all the kids and sending that money into a private entity so that they can
Hmm.
make money off of it. It's, you
Yeah,
know,
because the private entity can be themselves. It doesn't have to be, you get to choose where it's gonna go. Like, isn't that like one of the main thing God gave us as choice? And I
yeah.
think this is what saying that we gotta send the money to some school that other people say that's like opposite of choice. Like you don't
Well,
have a choice anymore.
the whole reason to come up with public schools is so that everyone has the opportunity to
No,
get
that's
an
not true.
education.
That's not true. The
No,
whole
So
idea, the
that was
whole
why they
idea,
came up with them.
no, the whole idea for it was so that they can control your children and make them believe how they want them to believe. Like
well,
the
No,
indoctrination camps
no,
is what they really are.
that's what it became.
No, that's the intent. That was the intent.
it's like we want to have an educated public. If it's parents can just be like, you know, I want to teach my kids from some magazines, some I don't know, some random uh research materials. I can't even think of nothing right now because my brain just went blank. But parents can just choose to teach them basically nothing, and then they're gonna grow up and not know things. So
That's not
like
true.
it's a public good
That's what's
to.
happening right now. What are you talking about? Like people, there's just kids that's going to school, going K through 12 and even K through uh K through whatever college, graduating college that don't know shit.
Dude,
Yeah, but
we've
They
got
see,
they've been
we've got
trained
proof.
they've been trained in certain areas to do certain things the way that they want. They're not actually know how to learn something on their own. They've been told this do when this happens, do this. And then when that happens after that, like this is like
this
totally training. This is not
this
teaching.
what I'm talking about is what you be saying all the time about falling for the banana in the tailpipe is what's happening because Noam Chomsky right here he's saying, you know, it says the standard technique of privatization: defund, make sure things don't work, people get angry, you hand it over to private capital. So that's what they've been doing with the schools. They make them not work.
Hmm.
It's part of the plan, you know, so that they can funnel money into private hands.
But
That's
see the
coming from
thing
the government. So
but
it's
see the thing is
socializing,
but the thing
subsidizing these
is
companies.
what like I mean, of course, we all know that part of our biggest problem, especially here in America, maybe worldwide, is that we don't work together. So I mean, when if we have the option as parents, let's just say me, you, and Doc actually, have children that's in the same age range, and we can hire a teacher that can teach them. We have funds that we get directly back from our tax dollars that we can use to pay this teacher. Like, why wouldn't we not do something like that? Because we can actually have control over what they're going to teach. We can create, make sure that there's certain things that we can leave out that we don't want because, let's just hypothetically, we believe in the same ideology. So, like communities like the Jewish community, they can do this easily because they've already set up things that is more designed for their what they want their children to learn. We have given too much power away to easily get these type of things under control, but we could do it. I mean, we complain now about, oh, like we're going to get money that we can use for our children to learn, but we haven't made any step to maybe creating a type of school that be beneficial for our community and what we want them to understand and learn. I
Yeah,
think that's the main difference there, because I mean, outside of the Jewish people, there's other communities that's already doing that and controlling how the things that their kids are learning.
yeah, that's what I was about to say. There's already plenty of schools like that out there, and you pay tuition to have your kid in there if that's what you want to do. And that option has been there for the longest. But we're talking about the level playing field of all the kids being able to go to school and taking that away from them. So if parents don't have money to put their kids into a private school, then they're
Well,
just screwed. They're
let me
left
ask you this.
behind.
Let me ask you this, because would you consider this to be fair that all right, parents who decide to send their kids to private school, that their taxes are dropped because they don't have kids in school, and that money that they spend shouldn't don't have to go into those
That
public schools that their
I,
kids
I've,
don't go to.
I've heard those arguments before, but that doesn't work because what about all the people who don't have kids at all? And they're paying their property taxes, they're paying their
Okay,
school taxes, and they've never had children, don't
okay,
plan on having children. So then we opt those people out of the system too.
yeah, yeah,
Where does it?
I think so.
So then where would the funding come from for these schools? That's not how taxes work. That's
Well,
not how like public good
when you
works.
when you become when you become self-governing, you grow a set, and you put things together so that your children can learn in your community. Because I
and
mean
and
and that's for the parents. They parent those people have a certain thing that they want to happen. If those people outside that don't have children or whatever want to, you know, add something to it, donate and things like that, great. But I mean, I'm
we
just at
we
the point
all
where,
benefit from an educated public, whether we have children or not. We
but
don't
who's
want
saying that
people
they won't get
around
edu-?
us that don't know stuff. Like it's really simple.
No, that's not true. I mean, it's a bunch of y'all got people around y'all that don't know nothing and swear they do.
Oh, dude, we work in food service. Nobody around us knows anything. They either have a degree or two or three, or they know nothing about anything.
You tell her to get away from me. She's crazy.
Change about the Constitution.